Malcolm Spellman, congratulations on a fantastic series.
Thank you, Brandon. Awesome backdrop you got there.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I figured you might like that logo up there.
Quality stuff you got.
Let's talk about that show. Let's start with Sam Wilson, who now we know is from Louisiana, is a quippy and witty guy, and it's very reflective of Anthony Mackie. So I'd like to hear from you, the head writer. How much of Anthony Mackie did you want to see spill into this character?
That was a discussion with Anthony, because Anthony had already created a Sam Wilson so that he could show up for work every day over the last 10 years, right? And definitely was good at creating the humanity of Sam, but I think he also made Sam was very, very aware and maybe a bit more self-conscious in leading up to now. And for us to open him up, one thing I've been saying is, if you look at the big heroes in the MCU, all of them are decidedly the identity that they come from. Thor sounds like and acts like an Asgardian. T'Challa carries himself like royalty from Africa. Spider-Man is a kid from New York, from a working class neighborhood in New York, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so on. They all had to be that. So we knew Cap needed to have a Black identity. And what did we do? We pilfered Anthony's real life so that he could make it honest as it shifted a little bit.
I love that. I love how this character has come to life in more ways than we ever saw in the movies before. It's been awesome. And I also want to talk about the Winter Soldier. You've said in previous interviews, one of the themes of the show is identity, which we just talked about with Sam. How do you think Bucky's identity as Winter Soldier has evolved? Do you think the Winter Soldier title is a title he can eventually move past entirely?
It's interesting. I hope people will forget that end title card as being an indicator of a commitment from Marvel. I think he has slayed that dragon personally, and I don't think I'll be in trouble for that. So when Bucky enters this series, he's never, ever shaken what he believes, which is, I remember every one of them murders, which means a part of me was there, which means a part of the Winter Soldier is me. And if even a fraction of Winter Soldier is you are an awful person. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so that was Bucky's identity coming in here, is loaded with trauma, on top of the fact that he doesn't feel like a citizen of any era. You know what I'm saying? We took him on this journey of trying to find ways to redeem himself and learning that avenging, right, is not the same thing as redemption. Is not the same thing as sort of making amends or whatever, right? And we did two crucial moments here that I think free Bucky to be a complete, I think Bucky enters this thing truly believing he is kind of the Winter Soldier, no matter what anyone says. By the end, he has the moment with the old man, but more importantly, nobody has caught this. So I've been saying it all day. In the scene with the Flag Smashers in episode 6, when one of those people gets out of that van and thanks Bucky, that's his first time being a hero. Yeah. And so by the end of this series, Bucky is emerging as having shed the burden of the Winter Soldier. He has found a new family. Ironically, it's a Black family in Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? And he has tasted being a hero for the first time. And I think he's now free to become something amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait. The arc for both characters was fantastic. Another character that I think was the core of the show for me was Isaiah Bradley. And you guys explained this history he went through. We've seen versions of it in the comics. We've heard the MCU's edition of it now. Did you guys flirt with showing any of that history, putting any of it on screen?
You talk about all of it, and then the reality and you at the same time, for storytelling, you have to be true to where it needs to be. And I think, we made the right choice. And I don't know, wouldn't that maybe have been a distraction for the people who felt what Carl did with that role? I think anything beyond that would have been a distraction from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, he broke my heart,
Those scenes that he was a part of were just fantastic. I mean, the emotion just comes through from the whole show, right? In those moments, it was awesome. You guys managed to sneak Julia Louis-Dreyfus into the show. Nobody found out. Congratulations on that. I would love to hear, what can you tell us about that character's intentions and how she's recruiting John, and a very open-ended thread from your perspective. What can you say she's up to?
Well, I can be honest with you here because Marvel doesn't tell me much. I will say this. She obviously had plans for John because that's in our series. What her plans are beyond me because, you know, they keep us in bubbles and they don't let you know what's happening. Like I just found out, I did not know until today during these interviews, she was in the Black Widow movie. You know what I'm saying? Who knew? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how tight that bubble is.
So when something like that comes down, like it's like when like I'm guessing that Julia being included as Val, like is that like kind of Kevin or some executives or other writers like, hey, we have this one thing, you know, we want to just include this, or is that your idea entirely?
They don't do that. It's neither. I'll tell you, Val and Madripoor appeared the same way, and I think this will help people understand the Marvel process. They want you to just create the best shit you can create, right? Don't worry about nothing here. If you're writing and Vision is in and you said, hey, I got the great pitch where Vision appears, they're going to tell you no, because WandaVision is coming, right? But beyond that, you're free. So we created a city that was loosely based on a real place out in Asia, where this city is where there's open air gun bazaars. There's restaurants that sell endangered species on the menu, right? That's a real place. And we created this sort of shady CIA-esque character for the end with John Walker. Once you do that and create your thing, Marvel starts to draw the connections to the broader MCU. Like we geeked out the same way the fans did when that city I just described became Madripoor. We were like, oh my God, but they let the way, whatever given piece, how it fits into the puzzle of the MCU, they don't force it in there. They don't give you preordained. You do your thing first, and then they see how it fits.
That's really cool. It's got its own pulse. It's its own living thing that just reacts as it goes. That's really cool. That's awesome. Yep. And listen, there are more congratulations in order after the reports this week, man. Captain America 4. That's huge. Congratulations on that.
Or is who said it? Did Kevin say it?
We haven't heard it from Kevin yet, so I don't know.
I would not put faith in anything you do not hear directly from the man himself.
Okay. Well, then I'm not going to waste your breath asking questions about that. Then I want to go talk about John Walker, and I want to ask you. I mean, Wyatt Russell, fantastic, love the guy. John Walker, questionable. How did you want us to feel about John Walker by the end of the series?
I think Wyatt did something I would not have guessed was possible, which is took him as low as he can go, and then brought him partially back without losing the edge. I don't know how he did it, but we did not set out to judge any of these characters. We never said John Walker is the bad guy, or Carly is the bad guy, or Zemo is the bad guy. They all believe in things that many people believe in, sometimes to a fault, you know what I'm saying? And went on tough journeys following those ideals.
Yeah. Okay. So hypothetical Captain America 4 aside, if this were a story that you got to continue, whether it's in a season 2 or in a movie or anything, have you kind of thought at all, you know, what you want to see from Bucky and Sam, or, you know, Sharon Carter, who is emerging as this big villainous figure? Have you kind of played with any of that in your head? Anything you can share about you think would be fun to do with it?
I'd say this. I haven't thought about it. I think Sharon, how villainous is she? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Did she really hurt Sam at all in that storyline? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, to me, Sharon could go all the way bad, could come back. Who knows where she's going to go? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I haven't put a ton of thought of it. I might have just said too much right there.
I can't wait to see where it all goes. We have Kari Skoglund on our podcast on Friday. Do you have a surprise message we can bring from you to her to play on the show?
Let me think. Kari, I know this. Kari loved those motorcycles leading into Madripoor. We knew those were going to be in this series no matter what, because Kari loved it. No, she was amazing. She was in the writer's room with us. Just fit in like family. I don't know. I don't have a good one.